Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to build this amazing web page which is highly responsive, and for this we are going to also learn about mobile first design approach, which means we are going to design first for mobile and then other devices. We are also going to use CSS. So CSS is going to help us to write better CSS code, more modular code in CSS. So we're going to learn about that as well. And this website web page is also going to be highly responsive. So if I am going to show you right here, then you can see if I'm going to decrease the screen size, then the page transform itself like this. So it looks absolutely brilliant here as well. If I'm going to decrease the size, it's going to fix itself according to the device, right, like this. So I'm going to show you how you can create this amazing responsive website with minimum code and by using very good CSS design patterns as well, SCSS design patterns as well. So without any further ado, let's get started building this project. Now first of all, I have this indexed HTML page. It does not contain anything. What it contains is this Google API for our font, which is our sans serif pro font, and also it contains the font awesome icon link, which is for our icons like this hot icons and these icons, right, this star icon. So we are using font awesome for that icon, and we are using Google font for our font. Now where you can get those font and icons, you can just say go to your browser and you can say Google fonts, and then inside here you can just go to this Google font. You can choose any font that you want from here. Like if you want this font, you can select this, and then you can say select this style, and here is the style that you might want to use, and you can copy this and paste it in our indexed HTML page. Now for the font awesome icon, I'll just say font awesome CDN, and you can go here by bootstrap CDN, and you can just get the CDN for HTML and put it in your HTML page. So I have already done this, so that's why I have both of these here. And also I have this image folder outside which contains each and every image that I'm going to use in our project, right? So after that, another thing that we need is an extension which is going to help us to create to compile the SCSS code. So you can go inside your Visual Studio Code, and we are going to type SCSS compiler. So you can see live SAS compiler. I'm going to install this. So you can install it, and after installing, I can go back to my page. Okay. Now after that, I'm going to create another folder outside. I'm going to call it SCSS like this, and inside here I'm going to create a file called style.scss file. Now you can see here I have got this SCSS. I can write just like here because we are creating the SCSS file. Now also what I can do is I can just say like this. I can give margin 0 and padding 0 for everything. Now I'm going to remove all this. Now you can see here I have got this icon say watch SCSS. So I'm going to click on it, and it is now watching my SCSS. So now it is compiling my SCSS file and giving me this CSS file right here. So we're going to link this CSS file but not the SCSS file, right? So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to say link and /SCSS style.css, because we are linking the CSS file. We are writing a CSS file and we are compiling that SCSS file from here, which gives us the CSS file, and we are linking that particular CSS file, right? So we're going to write a CSS code for our styling in this project, of course. Now after that, let's get started creating our web page and see how we can create this amazing and responsive page in our browser, for our browser, right? So now first of all, the first thing that I need is to create a division. I'm going to call this division wrapper. Okay, so wrapper like this. So inside this division I'm going to create another division, call it banner, like this. Okay, so after wrapper and banner, what is the first thing I need to create is this. As you can see here, if I just remove this like this, you can see here there is this top bar. So first let's create the top bar. I'm going to say the first stars here. I'm going to select all this and say Ctrl/ to comment it out. Then I'm going to say div dot top header. So let's create our top header. Inside this top header we are going to create the UL and then li. So I need basically one li for now, and I'm going to inside this li I'm going to give it a icon. For that I'm going to give it a class. Class will be envelope for our envelope, and then inside here also I want to give, after this I want to give an anchor tag, and I'm going to start it to nowhere, and I'm going to say .com, so that I can give my Gmail there. After this I'm going to again create another tag like this. I'm going to create a class. So inside this class I'm going to say phone, and here I'll create another anchor tag, link it to nowhere, and then I'm going to say give any random phone number like this. Okay, so there is this problem like this. Okay, so this is done. Now after these two I'm going to create another li. So okay, so first of all this will be inside one li, of course, like this. I'm going to close it here. So I'm going to create another li here like this. Okay, so now after this I'm going to create another li, and inside here I'll build a class called social media. So inside this class I will contain all the icon for Facebook, Twitter, and so on and so forth. Like, so I'll just give it a class, and I will call it Facebook. So yes, Facebook, and likewise for Twitter and all of those. So I'm going to just simply copy this and paste it a couple of times. So this will be Twitter. Let's say this will be envelope like this. This will be LinkedIn, another will be Instagram, and this will give me all the icons that I need for the page. Okay, so after this let's go out here, let's copy the path of this particular file, and I shall give this the number and this all this icon, right? So I'm going to remove all this, go out here and paste it here. Now you can see I gave my all the icons that I required for this page. So now I have my icon. After that what we're going to do is we're going to style our page. Now for that let's go to style.css. I'll remove all this preset, create my new one. So in this preset I am going to give font family. So font family will be the family that you import from Google Font, right? So I have imported Source and Pro like this. So I'm going to use this particular font. After the font I can also give the margin and padding. So I'll just say margin will be 0 pixel from top to bottom, left to right will be 1 pixel. Also give it a padding which will be 0. Okay, so padding like this which will be 0. Now I will give it a box sizing which will be border box. This will help us in creating responsive design. So after that we have another. So this is our basic preset. This is the basic structure of our CSS which will work for everything, of course. Now as you can see here we have started from this wrapper. So let's start making our wrapper. Now in CSS we will write dot wrapper like this, and style it here. So I don't know what is wrong with my typing today. So, and we will style it here, but now we are in SCSS, which means we can just do this right inside this div like this. So every parent and child styling will be every child styling will be inside parent styling, you know, like that parent child combination. So that is how SCSS we're going to try this code in SCSS. So inside wrapper, what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to say overflow. We'll say overflow x hidden, so we can hide the overflow. After that, just let's only give this much to our wrapper. So now you can see inside wrapper there is banner. So here also inside wrapper, now we are going to say dot, just inside wrapper we're going to say dot banner like this. Since it is SCSS file, so it will understand. I will just give it padding to be 0, also the margin to be 0. Now padding 0 is unnecessary here because padding 0 is already given here, so I don't need to give it here. I can just remove this padding 0 here because this is for each and every element, so this will work fine. After that, I will also give it a width for our banner to be 100% width like this. Now after that, we have our banner. So inside banner there is this division called top header. So inside our banner here as well, we're going to call this div called top header like this. So this top header will contain nothing but a background color. So the background color will be gray color of our top header. So inside our top header we have this UL. So for this UL we're going to say display flex, right? And then we will also give padding of 1 pixel to this UL. We're going to say justify content space evenly, and then also we're going to give a flex wrap so that it will wrap and become responsive. So I'll just say flex wrap is wrap. Now the UL, inside the UL we have our LI. So inside I'll just say list style to be none, so that our this dot the dot inside our LI will be gone with the list style. So after that I will just say font size. So the font size of this list style will be 10 pixel. Okay. Now the LI of our file contain this anchor tag. So anchor the text decoration again will be none. So with this we are going to remove this underline inside our page, right? Now again after that I will give it a color black like this. Now this is done. So as you can see, the UL contained all of this, and the CLI and anchor tag digital. Now we have also this social media which is inside our LI, inside our UL. So LI ends here, which means after it, and inside UL right here we are going to style our social media as well. So the class name is social dash media. So let's say social dash media. So inside our social media we have this icon, and I will also just give it a padding of 1 pixel like this. So after this, let's go out here, refresh this page, and you can see I get everything properly here. So we have all this icon, background color gray, and everything is working perfectly fine. So if I'm going to inspect it, and if I'm going to resize it, you see it will come down, because that is what flex wrap does. It wraps the division, you know, like this, and helps to build the responsive website. So this is pretty good. And now you can see here, if I go to my installer CSS, this is how our CSS will be written, but now with SCSS we are writing code like this, which is more readable as well, right? Now go back to our in-texture HTML page. Now here we're going to create the navigation. The navigation is also inside this banner. So here I will go and create a division and call it navigation like this. So inside this navigation we have this image, right? So here inside my navigation we have this logo image and all this icon and source bar. So I'll just go here and I'll just create a division called image dash logo, which will be our, and give it a source. Now the source is our image file, and inside here I have this image called logo.png, and here I will give logo. Okay, fine. Now after this I will give a division called links. I'll call it a links on click, like this. Okay, the spelling of link is wrong, so links on click. So inside this division we will create this ul and then li. So here I have link 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 links. So I'll just get here multiply by 7 and tab. So I have this home page first. Now after that I have, let's put contact us, and maybe blog and portfolio, and then maybe price, about us, and then maybe help, or let's say support, like this. Okay, so we have all of this. Now after this link on click we will also create the search bar. So for that I'll create this form. Action will be nothing. Inside this form I'm going to create this input tag. So the input type will be search, and I'll put a placeholder here, and the placeholder will be this search. Okay, I'm going to create the ID of the search bar and give it an ID called search text box. Now after this search we have this icon, as you can see here. After this search bar we have this icon, so we're going to create this icon as well. I'm going to say go out here and give it a tag, and we're going to give it icons with class name font awesome dash search, like this, and then we will get our search box there as well. Now everything is done, set up. I'll just save it and go out here and refresh this page. You can see I get my logo, all the links, and then this search bar. Now let's go with the styling. So this is inside the banner. So here is our banner, and just above that closing bracket we're going to style our navigation as well. So I'm going to say navigation. First it will be display grid. Okay, so I'll display it inside grid. I'll give it a padding like 5 pixel. I'll give it a grid gap. So grid gap will be 5 pixels, so there is this gap between all the grids, right? So let's give it a 10 pixel. I think it will look good. Now I'll just give it a grid template columns, which will be 1 fraction, and then 5 fraction, and then 2 fraction, like this. I will give it a border bottom, and it will be 1 pixel solid light blue, like this. Okay, now I will also give it a margin top. So the margin top will be 15 pixel, so it gets 15 pixel from the top, and then I will give it a height. The height will be 50 pixel as well, like this. Okay, so this is good. Let's see how it looks like. If you refresh it, you can see everything is good. Logo up appears here, border bottom is there. Now grid, this will be 1 fraction, this all the link will be 5 fraction, and this will be 2 fraction, like here 1 fraction, 5 fraction, 2 fraction. So this is 1, logo is 1, all this link will be 2, all this link will be 5, and this will be 2. Okay, inside our navigation we have this division called dot image dash logo, like this. So the max height of this image will be 60 pixel, right? I'll give the max height 60 pixel, and also give the max width to be also 60 pixel, like this. Now we have our max height and max width. Now let's see how it looks I don't think it will change much. Yeah, it looks absolutely the same, so nothing much there. Now I want to insert this navigation, so I have this image logo. Now I have this links on click. Let's style all the link now. So dot, I'll just control V. So link on click. Here I will say display none. Okay, so let's see display none right here. So the reason I'm doing display none here is for the responsiveness, right? So if I'm going to inspect here like this might come up with a surprise now, but if you can see here, if I'm going to make this page responsive, now as you can see, when I hover the link, this will be gone. So this will be gone, only source will be here, and this three hamburger menu will be there, right? So that is what we're going to try to do. We are not building this for the desktop, we are building this for mobile, and that is the big surprise here. This is the mobile first design. First we are going to design for the mobile phone, and then we are going to design for the other devices. And if you ask me what is the benefit of designing for the mobile first, then it is because we are going to minimize a lot of redundant CSS code. We have to write very less CSS code if we build mobile first. That is all I can say from my experience. So let's design for mobile now on. So now you understood why I am giving this link is display block, because now display none, because in mobile phone there will be no link, there will be this hamburger menu but no links, but in my desktop there will be all these links, right? That is why first we will design for mobile right here. Okay, that is what I wanted to tell you. Now after that, inside this links on click, we have all this UL and ALI. So now for that, let's style our UL and ALI as well. For our UL, so first of all, always the UL will have this padding of 5 pixel, and then it will have display flex, and then justify content will be space around, and then align items will be center like this, and inside here we have this CLI. So the CLI will have line height for 30 pixel, and then we have this list style which will be none, of course. Then we have this font size which will be 12 pixel. Okay, so the font size will be the 12 pixel, and after that we can also give it a color gray for our gray color link, and then font weight bold like this. So I'm going to save this. Now you can see here there is nothing here, because of course we have given the links to be display none. But if I'm going to go and make it responsive, let's say let's not make it display none, let's say display. Let's remove this line just for some moment like this. Okay, so I have to refresh it here, and it will come right like this. This is very good design. Now why are we styling UL and ALI even though we are not making it for our mobile first design, for our mobile page? Then it is because we are just trying to minimize as much as code as possible. So what we are doing is, even though it is display none, we know that it will be visible in desktop, so we are just writing all this code so that we can make it looks good when we show it in desktop as well. So when it is in desktop, the display none will change, but we do not want to change any of this because that will not have any effect. So when I will make it and complete it, you will understand it even more better. But just carry on. Just remember that the display none is for our responsiveness, but we are writing all this code because it will help to us to show these links properly in desktop when we make display flex or display visible or display block in our desktop, right? So that is going to help us there. So that is why we are writing this code here as well. After all this, you can see there is this form. So the form is outside of this links on click. So let's see links on click. Outside of this we have form. Now for the form, I'm going to style this form, which will be our search bar form. So search text box, which is our id. Let's see if the name is correct or not. So search text box. Okay, so the name is correct. So our search text box will have first margin left is 10 pixel. It will have width of 120 pixel, right? And then another thing will be the border, which will be none. Now after that we will have border bottom, and so border bottom, which will be again 1 pixel solid and dark gray, let's say. So dark gray like this. Now the form is done. Now inside this form as well, so what we can do now is inside this form, what we have another is that search bar icon, right? So inside this form I have this icon. So inside this form I have this icon. So what I want to do with this icon is I'll give it a color, and I'll just say gray color. And also I want to give it a font size. Yeah, I'll give it a font size, and I'll give it like 2 pixel. I think this will work. So both of this is done now. Now let's refresh this and see if it works properly. Okay, so we have this search bar and we have this search icon as well. Now this is good. This looks good right here, right? So the search icon is there and then search box is here, so this is pretty fine. Now after that we are going to create this banner image. Now for that, let's go out here and create another div. So I'll just go inside this banner, just at the end of this banner. I'm going to create this division, and I'm going to call this division as banner image, which will be the whole full width image. Now inside here I'm going to give it image tag. So I'm going to give it image tag and just say ./images. Inside here I have this image called banner.jpg. This one I'll also give it it's called banner. So we have this image. Now not only this image, I want to create another div called info. So inside this div we have this s2 tag, which will be set made for designers, and then after that we have this paragraph where I'll give it some random text inside my paragraph. After that we have this button, right? So the button is get started now. I don't know what is wrong with my typing today. Okay, so the get started now, let's make it capital. Okay, write this. If I'm going to refresh this, now image is here, heading is here, paragraph is here, and the bottom is here. The button is there, right? So we have all of this. Now let's style our this banner. So again, inside our banner, here is our banner. So just inside this right here, I'm going to style my banner image. So I'll just say banner image like this. Now I'll give it a max height, which will be 50 vs viewport height. 50%, 50 vs means just 50% of the whole viewport height, and I'll just give it a position relative. Alright, like this. So after that I'll just say text align. Text align will be center. Now inside here I have this image tag, so this will also contain the max height. So just say max height is I want to give it a max height of the same, I think 50 vs, same as the div, right? So we have this max height inside there as well. Let's give it 40 vs actually instead of 50, because I want it to occupy fully inside. Yeah, 40 vs will do good, no problem at all. So after the banner image, after this image, right? So let's say inside banner image we have the image and then this div called info. So here after the image I'll just call info and I'll just give it padding 10 pixel like this. I will also give it a jet index because jet index 1 because I know I'm going to put it over the image, so I will need the jet index 1 which will help me to keep one element above another one. I will give the margin top like this, so I don't know how much. I will give 35 ph. I can actually okay, 35 ph is good because of course we are going to make it position absolute, so this will work. So position will be of course absolute like this. So this one is good. Now inside info we know that we have this s2 tag which is our heading. So heading we have font size of 36 pixel like this. No, I don't think 36 pixel is too big for mobile phone, so I'll just not give any font size for this. I think let's see, I will rather give it a padding of 5 pixel and I'll also give it a color white because I know it will be black by default, and I'm going to make it a bold, so I'll just give it a font weight of let's say 800 which will make it bold. Now we also have paragraph. Let's style our paragraph as well. So paragraph I will give it a padding which will be 5 pixel. Inside paragraph I will give font size again, so font size will be 12 pixel. For mobile phone 12 pixel is good, and the color again dark gray like this. So we are done with this as well. We know we have a button there as well called get started now button. So inside the button I will just say text, align will be in center, so it will come in center of the button. I'll give it a color called white smoke, not white, white is smoke. Border I will give it none. I will give the border radius of 5 pixel like this. So border radius is done. I will give it a background color as well, so background color will be dark golden, yeah, this one. Let's see, I will give it a padding of 5 pixel, right, and then I will give it a height of 30 pixel, and then width will be 250 pixel like this. So after all this, let me save it, go out here and refresh this, and you can see here we have got something like this. So okay, now there is some problem, so let's see what the problem is. I think I need to go and see here. Okay, so this div, okay, so 35, I think it's taking too much with 35. Let's decrease this. Alright, like this. Okay, so I think I should give it minus, I think, yeah, I'll give it a margin of minus 30. This will solve the problem. Okay, good. Alright, we will work for the desktop at the end, not now. We will just make mobile first design, right? So here I think the problem is inside here. It will be minus 30 and it will work. So refresh this, things look good. Okay, things are looking good right here. Now after that, let's create our main content. So you can see here we have all this main content, so we're going to build that now. So let's go here, and after the banner, so banner is here. After banner ends, we contain our, so let's say main content starts here. We're going to comment this out. It is good practice to comment everything, of course. I'll just give it a main like this. Okay, so I'm going to give it a class. Okay, and I'm going to call this class content. Let's say content like this. So now this main will contain this div. Okay, so this div will contain this information. So let's create a div for that information. I will give it a name called your content dash, let's say, okay, quality dash info. So the information about quality. Again, lorem tag, any tag, no, not this one first. Okay, let's see. So inside this we have heading and then this one, but more than that I'm going to create another div first. Okay, so I will create this div, and inside this div I will create this class called top info for the top one. Okay, so the top info, this content heading will be beautiful, clean, responsive. So beautiful, clean, responsive, like this. So we have this one, then paragraph. Inside paragraph will be this lorem tag. So lorem tag. Okay, so we have this heading and paragraph inside this div. Now let's create another div. I will say content dash 3 section. Okay, so content dash 3 section, like this, which will be for this 1, 2 and 3 section, of course. So inside here I will create a section like this. So the section will first contain the heading will contain the icon. So icon, and give it a class. I think the first one is hot, so fa dash hot, like this. So the first one is hot, of course. I will close this icon like here, and then I will say what is the text, passion. Okay, so passion, like this. So the first heading is done. After the heading I will create a paragraph, and again the same thing here as well. So the first one is done, first section is done. I will just copy this same thing twice. So let's copy this second section and third one. So the second icon will be light bulb. Okay, so light bulb dash o. Okay, so and the name will be here creativity. Now the third icon will be fa star, of course, for the star. So I'll just say star, and this one will be, I'll call this quality, like this. After that, just going to go out here and refresh this. I get everything right here, and this looks good. Okay, so the problem here is this closing, so that I'm getting multiple number of icons. I'll close this as well, and I will close this one as well. So now I will not get all these extra icons that I'm getting here. If I refresh this is exactly what I needed, right? So after all these things, we have these images and this latest work as well. So let's build that as well. Let's get completed with our this content division. Okay, so inside this section, this is where this content quality info gets completed. After that I will create another division now. So content dash latest work, so this will be for this whole division. Okay, so inside here I will create a heading. I'll just say check out our latest work, like this. Now after that, give it a paragraph, loading tab again, so the random text will be generated. After that I will give it division call and call it cards. Here I've got the division and call it card, like this. So I'll create an image. So the image will be inside our images, and this image 2.jpg. Let's give it what is the image of. So the image is, let's see, I'll call it a banner, like this. Okay, so it's banner image. Now after that image, after that image, you can see here it contains this footer of this card. So after this image, I'll create a div, call it footer like this, which is basically the image footer, right? So here I'll create a paragraph. Let's not create a div for that, we have already HTML semantics as well. So instead of this footer, I can also give footer tab. So why not use HTML semantics directly? So the paragraph here, paragraph will say, so what is the paragraph saying? Grand model get identity process. So grand model gets so identity, I think, brush up like this. So this is good, and we have this small text at the end as well. So let's also keep that here, and I will create this span. So inside this span, we will have that identity like this. So this is the identity. Okay, so this looks good for our first image. Now for the second image, of course, I can copy and paste this card. I'll just copy this card and then I'll paste it here, the second card. So now the image will basically, I'll put here the same image. I think that's not a problem. The image will not be a problem, and of course the text will also be the same, so no problem at all. Let's change the image. I don't know, let's put, okay, I don't know what happened here, so I'll just Control Z. Okay, good. So let's see what I have in image 1. Okay, so image 1 is that. So okay, I will keep it image 1. So let's see, I'll give it image 1, no problem at all. So this is done now. After that, after this div, which is basically for our cards, this is completed. Now after cards, I have all these images, which is basically our gallery. So I'll just keep it div and call it gallery like this. Inside our gallery, I have 4 images. So I'll just image multiply by 4. So 4 images. First one will be images slash first one will be image, let's say image 3, and then second one will be image 4, third one will be image 5, and then the first one will be, I will say, image 2. Okay, so here I will just call it images. You can give any name. I will just say hotel, and then pie, and then cup, any name that is favorable to you. Inside that, all text. So the footer is now done. Of course, the footer is done, gallery is also done. After that, here, after the gallery is completed, now we have this main footer. So after this gallery is completed, we have this giant footer that we are going to create now. So after this gallery, I will say stars here like this, and then I'm going to just say okay, and I'm going to give it like this. So the footer starts here. So from here I'm going to create our footer. I will just create a, again, I don't want to give division footer, I'll just use the HTML semantics for this. So we have this footer. Now inside I'll create a div and I'll call it footer info like this. So inside the footer info, we have this h4 tag called who are we. So I'm going to use that same thing here, who are we. That is the question that I ask myself every day. Okay, now after that, I think we will need an image which will be our logo again. So images slash logo.png. I will also give an alt text called logo here. Now as for images is done, then paragraph, again some random text like this. So our footer info is done. After that, we have this latest work. So let's create that. Footer info is completed here. Now I'm going to give it I'll create a division and call latest dash work. So here I'll keep again h4 and call it latest work like this. Okay, now inside here I contain 4 images, right? There is 4 images, so I will just say latest work image like this. So latest work image is there. I'm going to create an image, multiply by 4, which, okay, so image multiply by 4, and I'll put 4 image here. So image slash which one, let's say 4, and then dot slash images 3, and then dot slash images 5, and then images 2. Okay, so you can give all text yourself now. I'm not going to write all text now. So after this latest work is completed, 4 images is done. Now we have these free updates, so I'm going to give the same name to my class, call it free update, right? So inside the free update we have this h4 again called free updates. Okay, so I think, yeah, I will make it all caps like this, free updates like this. Okay, so inside our free updates we have this paragraph again. So create a paragraph, give it a lot of text like this, and it's done. Now after that, what we have is our input box for our search, and I will just give it a placeholder, and it will call like this. Okay, so this is all done. After that I'm going to go out here and refresh this, then I get my everything. Now it is not completely responsive, of course, so we're going to make it responsive. Now we're going to make it responsive and make it look good. So let's go to our starter. First save this, of course. Now if there is any change, no, good. So in our starter CSS we are going to style our content page now. So our banner ends here. So after banner, let's start our all of the content. So let's go with content. So let's say dot content. Inside our content folder, content.html, here, from here, okay, we have this content quality info. Let's style that first. So content quality dash info like this. So content quality info contain, I'll just say display flex. So display flex, I'll give it a flex direction, which will be column. Now align items will be center like this. So if you see here, so the column is gonna bring one after another, and center will bring everything to center to this one. Okay, so to this, so that everything will be in the center. And let's save this and see in action. So you can see here it is so the display flex and align item center is also working fine. So also let's give it to justify content to center and see. So this is good. So the content quality info is pretty much done here. So we are done with this. Now after that, what we have is this top info. So let's see. So let's see, for the top info is this beautiful, clean, responsive, this part of the content page. I'll just say dot top dash info. Is it dash or not? I don't know. Let's see. So it is top, not dash, top info only. So inside our top info, what we can do is we'll say display flex again like this, and the top info also the same thing. So flex direction will be column, and again the align items will be in center, not align self but align items. Okay, so the align items will be center like this. You can see I'm going to refresh this page, everything is in the center. So this has come to the center, and the paragraph is also in the center of the page as well. Now after that, inside our top info we have this ES2. So this ES2 will contain the font size of 16 pixel, so it is a little bit more bigger. So if I just say and refresh this page, so it is a little bit more smaller. I will rather give it 18 just to make it look a little bit better. Okay, so the 18 pixel is doing wonders here. I'll also give it a padding because it is too close, so I'll just set padding of 5 pixel so that the space is around it like this. So padding is working, there's a lot of space around this heading. Now after that, when after heading we have paragraph as well. So for the paragraph, font size will be 12 pixel for mobile. I think it will look good. So okay, so it's too small, let's just increase a little bit of size. So okay, it is still too small, so I will just rather give it 14 pixel. Okay, so this looks good in mobile devices, so 14 pixel look good. After that I will just also say text align justify. So let me show you. I'll just say text align justify. Now you can see here all this space that has been mismanaged here by the paragraph. If I refresh this, everything come to the same line. So this is what text align justify does, and it works here. Now again, text justify, we will give it interword like this. This looks good. It will look good for responsiveness when we change the responsiveness, of course. I will also give it a color. I'll just say dark can. So this will be the color, and I will give it a padding. Padding will be 2 pixel. So the 2 pixel padding. You can also refresh this and see this looks good. This looks exactly the way that I want it to look. So the content quality info is completed. After that, after the content quality info, right here after this we have this content.latest work. So we're going to style that now. So here let's go and say content dash latest work. So inside content dash latest work, I don't think we have latest work. It comes here. I think inside here, inside this content quality info, we have these 3 sections as well, right? So latest work, let's not get into it right now, but inside this quality info section we have this content dash 3 section, right? So we have dash content dash 3 section, and we will style this now. So we will say display flex. Now display flex, and then we will say flex direction to column. So the flex direction will be column. Now justify content also center, and we will also align items in center as well. After that we will start our section, each individual section. So each individual section will have padding of 10 pixel. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this. So okay, the padding of 10 pixel is working good. I'll give it a border radius. Now before border radius, I think I should give it a box shadow so that you can see. So I'll just say box shadow. I have this box shadow already with me. I'll just say 14 pixel, 18 pixel, RGBA like this. So 0.25. So we have this inside here. So after that again, oh, this is too long. So 0.10 pixel. I should have copied this already. I should have kept it somewhere. Then I'll just say RGBA like this, and again 0, 0, 0, 0.22. Okay, refresh this. I get nothing. I think I messed up somewhere. I don't know. So box shadow 0, 14, 18 RGBA and 3 zeros and 0 to 5, and then 0, 10 RGBA 03 zeros and 0 1. I think this is good. I don't know why this is not working. So just refresh this. I don't know why box shadow is not showing here. I think there is some problem. I think the problem is so content 3 section. So there is this content 3 section which content also, so content 3 section, I have this content 3 section. Let's give it a let's give it a border 1 pixel solid. Wait and see if it is consuming it or not. Okay, so we have a problem, we have a big problem. So I'll just say background red. Okay, I don't know what is happening to my typing skills today. Okay, so this is not working, which means this content 3 section, which is inside this quality info. Let's just remove this again. Let's see quality info. No, so right here. Okay, so inside quality info we have this 3 section. So inside this quality info, oh no, yeah, we have this 3 section which is inside this content. So content quality info, so we have this content quality info, we have this top info, and outside of it we have this content 3 section. So here we have this section. I don't know why this is not working. So if I just, let's see if I just copy this and put it one step out. No, copy this all and put it one step out. Will it work? Let's see. No, I don't think so. I think there's some problem with the name. I think the content 3 section is here. So okay, I'll save this, and also I will just save this, refresh this, and it looks good. You can see it looks pretty good. Now I'm going to just remove this background red, and here you can see it looks absolutely fine. So we have all this. Now cancel. So we have all this already. Now what we can do with this section is we have padding. Now we can give also border radius to this section. So I'll just say border radius, I don't know how much, let's say 10 pixel. Let's see how it works. So if I just say 10 pixel, so it looks good. But now I want this passion and all this thing to be in the middle. So for that I will just give it display flex, now inline. So display like this. So after display flex we will give the flex direction to column. I don't know what is wrong with this. So okay, so display flex and then flex direction will be column. After the flex direction column I will just give it justify content inside center, and the align items will also be center. So with this being said, let's refresh this, and you can see it looks pretty good. So this is good now with our section, but if we go out and see here, let's see here first. Okay, so there is some color change for my heading. So let's change our color for our heading as well here as well. So inside our section we have of course our f2 tag, which is our heading tag. I'll first give it a padding of 2 pixel to my heading. Then of course I'll give it a font size to make it look a little bit bigger, which will be 22 pixel. Like this will look good. So after the font size I will also give it a color, which will be I don't know which color. So okay, so dark slate gray, this color, and I think this is good. So inside my heading I have this icon as well, which is all this hot star icon. So in this icon we will also give it a padding of 4 pixel for the icon. Okay, so padding 4 pixel, and this icon will have color of course yellow, as you can see in that side as well. So this is good for my icon. Now header, we have also this paragraph as well, but let's see how it is doing. If I just refresh this looks good. This looks good, I think. So okay, so this is pretty good. But I think what I can do more is I can increase a little bit size of the heading. So I'll just say 24 pixel. Just refresh this. Okay, so this is good, but I will give 36. It's a little too much, I think. Refresh this. Yeah, of course too much. I'll just give 32 and see how it looks. Okay, so this looks good. I will give it a 32 for this particular site. Okay, so inside the paragraph I will give it a font size. I think the font size looks pretty good here, so I will not give any font size to my paragraph. I would rather give text align to be justified. Again, you can see here that this is space here as well. So if I just do text align justify, it will take everything. It will justify the text, right, like this. Now this is good. Again, text justify to be introvert, which will make it justify even more. I'll just give it a color. So this will have a color of color like this. Let's see how it looks. Okay, I think I need to add just one more 0. Okay, like this. So if I go out here and refresh this looks good. But the color has no impact. It has just no impact at all. But we know the color is not dark, it's just a little bit changing. So this is good. So this looks fine as well for the paragraph. Now after that we have content latest work. So if we go out here, so this is done. After this is done, we have this content latest work class, so which is outside of this quality info. So if I just check my quality info, just outside of it, we are going to start our content latest work now. So for this content latest work, which is this one, first of all I'll give it a padding of 10 pixel. So it will have, okay, so padding of 10 pixel, I don't think it's working pretty good here because I don't have this content C. Now refresh this, I think it should, okay, so this is good now. So padding 10 pixel is doing good. Now I can give display flex, so it will display in place. So the detection will be of course column. Flex detection will be column. I'll just justify content to be center. No, so just I don't know what the problem here. It's okay. So justify content will be center, and of course the align items will also be center. So both are in center. If you just refresh this, everything will come to the center like this, and it will align properly. So now for my heading, this S2 tag, I will go out here. I'll just give it a margin. Just give it a margin of 6 pixel from top to bottom and left right 0. Okay. So okay, fine. I'll give it a font size as well, which will be 22 pixel. So if I just refresh this, okay, so this looks good. Maybe 28, I don't know. Try it out. Let's try it out. Okay, this looks good. So my heading is done. Now after my heading, we have paragraph. So inside my paragraph, what I need is I need to give it a color of gray, any color that you want. Padding will be 2 pixel. Font size, I don't want to give any font size. I think font size looks good here as well. So let's give it font size 14 pixel. So let's give it, no, font size is good. I will not do anything with font size. Now text align again. Text align justify, and text justify will be introvert like this. So this is good now. So now the paragraph is done. So after that we have this card, of course. So I'll just establish cards like this. So the cards will first have margin of 1 pixel from everywhere. The border radius of card will be 5 pixel. Okay, now max height, I'll give it auto max height. I don't think this is necessary, but anyway, I'll give it a max height of auto. I'll just give it a display. I will display grid, not flex. So display grid here, I'll just give it a grid template rows. So it will be 4 fraction and one fraction. Actually, I don't want to do any of this inside my cards. I don't think it will work. So I would rather, okay, so I want to do all this for my card, not cards. Okay, so right, so we have here our card, we have cards and then card, of course. So yeah, that will be a problem if I do this. So rather I would just say cards like this, and inside here I will install my card. Okay, so this is good. Now it will be, so the grid temperature 4 FR and 1 FR means it means that this image will be 4 FR and this text, this footer will be 1 FR, of course. So this is good here with my card, but I have to install the cards as well. So if I just refresh this, let's see it will bring any change. So the change is good. You can see here the card is here and then footer is perfectly fine aligned here, but I have to install my cards as well. So for my cards, of course, I have to align it absolutely perfectly. So I would rather give it display flex to align it. So I'll just say display flex like this. Now the cards will have flex direction of column, of course, again same thing repeatedly. I'll just say justify content to, let's say, space between, I want the space between each and every card. Again the box shadow. So I think with the box shadow this time I have saved it here with me in this paper, which is very long to type. I think I should have copied this already, but I didn't do it, so now I'm regretting that. But anyway, so this is RGBA and 0.0 like this. After that we have 0, 15 pixel, 12 pixel, and then RGBA, and then we have again the same thing. This is very painful. This is painful to write this box shadow. Okay, anyway, the box shadow is done. So I think if I just refresh this page, we are getting the box shadow on the cards. So rather than getting box shadow in my cards, I would rather put it inside my card and see how it will turn out, how it will look. Let's refresh this, go out here. So this is good. So yeah, so I think this is fine for me. I don't have any problem with this particular box shadow, but now I have problem with the footer and the image as well. So the footer is not good, not looking good. So inside my card I have image. Okay, so let's install that image like this. So the image will have, of course, the border radius of 5 pixel like this, and the image will also contain maximum height. So image will contain maximum height of 210 pixel. So let's see how this turn out. Okay, now it is pretty good, but now there is a problem, and the problem is that I don't have grid gap. I will give it a gap here. So I'll just say grid, rather than giving a grid not here, I'll just give it I don't know what I should do. I'll just give it a margin of from top and bottom. I would rather give 5 pixel and 1 pixel from like this. I don't know, let's see. No, this doesn't help. I think the problem is, I don't know where that come from. So I'll just refresh this again. Okay, so we have this, but I think the problem max height, I would rather increase some height to this. I will add to 50 probably. Okay, so this looks good now, right? Yeah, this looks good. So write this. Sorry, so now I will just give it a margin of, let's say, 10 pixel from top and bottom. Now let's refresh this. Okay, so now this looks good. I would rather put it this way. Okay, I would rather put it this way, so that looks good now. So after the image we have of course the footer, and that is the most important. The footer is not looking good here, so let's style that as well. So inside the footer of my card I will just say display again flex. So inside here just I will give a flex direction column. So let's say flex direction column, and then justify content will be space evenly, and then align items will be right at the center. Now it will come back to the center like this. So this is now looking fine. So after the footer, we have inside the footer we have these two things, this paragraph and then this span. So let's style those things as well to make it a little bit more good. So for the paragraph I will give it a margin, so from top and bottom 5 pixel, left and right 0, and I will give it a font weight. So font weight I will make it bolder. I will give 900, which is of course bolder. So after that let's put in span. So inside the span I will give it margin top 5 pixel. Okay, so after margin top 5 pixel I will also give it a color. Let's say dark, like this particular color. I will give it a font size of 10 pixel, and I will give it a padding of 5 pixel like this. So if I refresh this page, it looks good, but I think margin top is unnecessary because we have already set space evenly, so I don't need the margin top. If I just refresh this again, and so the identity is not showing up, so I would rather give it a font size of, let's say 12. I don't want it to be too much big, neither too small, so 12 is good. So now the footer is done, so our cards is also done here. So then after our cards we have this gallery, so let's work on our gallery now. So here I will, after this cards is completed, we have our gallery. So let's see background color red. So like this, refresh this. Okay, so our gallery is being pointed. So let's type it. So for our gallery we will give margin from top and bottom. I will give 20 pixel. From left and right I will give 1 pixel, not much. Display will be not in line, so display will be flex. Now gallery will have justify content center. So we are not giving any flex direction because I want it to be automatically to be row, and I also want it to be flex wrap so that it will be responsive, so whenever the screen size decreases, it will wrap that flex div and put it in a way that it looks good on the responsive side, right? So flex wrap. Okay, so I will install this image inside my gallery. I will give it a padding of 5 pixel and max height, so it will have 250 pixel of max height, and max width it will have 300 pixel max width. So this is done. Let's refresh this and let's see this. Okay, so this looks good. Now what I mean by flex wrap is that if I just increase this, you can see the gallery image also increases just like this. So this is what flex wrap does. So right here it is 4. Now screen size decreases, so also it will wrap this one by one, so like it will wrap like this one after one another. So that is what flex wrap does. So this looks good. Now finally we are in our footer. Okay, so if I see here, we have this footer which is right outside of our gallery. Now we have to style that footer. So here right after my gallery I will choose footer, and let's give it a background color red just to see if it is pointed or not. Okay, I don't want this error like this. Like this. Okay, so if I just refresh this, go out here, okay, the footer is selected. So now let's install our footer here. So inside our footer I want to give it a background color. So our background color will be this one. Okay, so display will be flex again, so flex wrap again, wrap it as per its device width. So okay, so flex wrap. Now footer content footer info, so I'll just say dot footer dash info. So footer info will have padding of 5 pixel. Now display, so it will contain display flex like this. So the flex direction will be column, of course, and then justify content in center. I also want to align items in center. So everything looks good here. Let's just refresh this, go out here and refresh this as well. You can see background color changes and everything is in center like this. So this is good. After this footer info, we have that another section. So that another section is called, no, inside footer info I have this image which is pretty good, which is not giving me any problem, but I also want to give it a fixed size and width, height and width to that image. And also I have this okay, so inside footer info, if I go out inside my footer info, we have this heading called who are we, which is not shown here because of course it is black and that is why it's not showing there. So let's change that color as well and give the image some height and width as well. So as for, I will give it a padding of 10 pixel, and also I will give it color white like this. So if I refresh this, okay, this is good. Now after S4, I will style my image and I will give it a padding, I'll just give it a padding of 3 pixel like this. And not only this, I will give it a width as well. I will give it a width of 400 pixel. I don't know, I don't think I need the width or anything for the image. I mean, logo looks perfect, logo is already perfect, so I don't want to change any of that. I would rather style my paragraph. I will give it a padding 3 pixel. Let's see, refresh this. Okay, this looks absolutely good. I will just say width, I will give it a width of less 90%. So let's just refresh this. So yeah, just like this, just I want to put it inside center, the space here and the space there as well. So this is good for my paragraph. Now after my footer info is done, after the footer info is done, I know we have our latest work. So let's start our latest work. I will go out here and just say dot latest dash work. I think this is the name of the class, I don't know. Let's see. After the footer info, we have latest work. Yeah, so after the footer info we have latest work, and here as well. After the footer info we have latest work. Fine. So inside my latest work, I also want to give it a display flex, so everything come in flex. I will give it a flex wrap, so again it can wrap itself according to the device width. Now justify content, I want to put everything inside center like this. So this is good. I'll just refresh this. Okay, now the latest work heading is not coming up, so I just want to give that, I don't know, S4. I'll just give it a color white like this. Okay, so this is good. Now you can see here I'm giving the same thing here as well. So rather than this, I can actually copy this, cut this, and I can put it in my footer so that it will work for each and every of one. So if I'm just going to save this, you can see I get the same thing for both. So you can write a little bit more modular code with this. So the latest work is good. Now inside my latest work, after this, what I can say is for my latest work image, right? So here inside my latest work, I have this latest work image, and I want to style this now. So I'll just say dot latest work image. I will give it a display flex again, flex wrap, so that it wraps my image. So I'll just say wrap like this. Justify content, of course I want it to be in center of my mobile devices, so this will work fine. So inside here we have these images, so let me give it some specific height and width for the image as well. So I'll just give it a padding of 5 pixel first, and I will also give it a margin of 5 pixel. Now I will just give it a max height and max width. So I will give it max height of 150 pixel, and I will give it a max width of 150 pixel. So refresh this, and this is pretty good. So if I just minimize it, it will wrap. Okay, this looks good. See how properly it is being responsive. So if I just move it, see, it is pretty good and pretty well responsive like this. So the image is done. Now after the image, what we have? So after the image we have this free update, which is outside of the latest work, right? So I'll just go here. Outside of the latest work we have another class, and the class name is called free update. So inside the free update I will give it a first margin 10 pixel. So it will come 10 pixel margin from everywhere. Again the display flex, like the flex direction will again be column, because in mobile I want everything one after another, so that's why column here. Now justify content, center, align items, not align self, align items center. Again inside here we have this h4, but I don't want to style the h4 because h4 is already been taken care of, like this. Again, okay, so after this I would rather keep h4 and just say text align center, because it is not coming to the center. What is the problem? I don't know. Like this. So text align center like this. Okay, so if I just refresh this, it is on the center now finally. Okay, so after that I have this paragraph which I want to change. So after as we have this paragraph, I will give it a padding of 5 pixel to the paragraph, right? I also want to give it a width of 90%, same as the previous one, like this. And then finally we have input. I don't think we have input. I don't know what we have. I think we have button. Okay, so we have this input, not button. We have input. That's input box. This is not a button, of course. So for my input I want to say margin of 10 pixel first. So margin of 10 pixel, and padding, so the padding will be 20 pixel. I also want to give the height to the input box, so height will be 40 pixel. I want to give the width to that input box, so the width will be 300 pixel. I think it will look good. So I don't need any border, so I'll just say border none. And I also want to give it a border radius 5 pixel. Okay, so this is good. If I just save and refresh this, I think it should look pretty good, which it is looking. So rather than, let's give it 400 to make it a little bit more bigger. Okay, so we are done with our responsiveness. See, if I just put it like this looks absolutely fine, right? So for my mobile devices it is working pretty much responsively like this. Okay, so this looks good for my mobile devices. You can see here we have this amazingly responsive website, which is very highly responsive. You can see if I just increase it, it is all increasing and working perfectly fine like this. You can see the paragraph, it is just increasing as per as the size of the device. So this looks very good. But now let's see if it looks good in desktop. Now you can see here, if you go to our desktop, it doesn't look absolutely perfect, but it is pretty good, but not a lot of good, right? So in mobile it was working perfectly fine. So we have completed our mobile responsiveness. Now we are going to work for the desktop one. So now for the desktop one, let's see how can we make it look good in desktop. So in rather generally you would first make any design on desktop and then convert it and make it responsive and make it good for every devices. But here we are first designing for mobile and now we will design for desktop. So what that will do is you will write minimum amount of code, CSS code. So that is the most and that is also the best approach for writing CSS. So that's why we are building it mobile first approach. So we are building for mobile first and then we are converting then we are writing code for making it look good in desktop. So now let's make it look good in desktop. So for that we can create our first SCSS variable. So we can create a variable in SCSS like this, desktop dash mode, and I will give it 768 pixel. So after 768 pixel I consider everything is a desktop or larger screen. I'm going to create a mixing. So I'll just say @mixing desktop. So mixing just means that we can use this particular function everywhere inside my CSS, and everything that we write inside this particular function or this particular mixing will come and save here in this function or in this kind of a mixing, right? So here I'll just create a media. So I'll just say media only screen and min max. So I'll just say first min width. I will just give it a min width of desktop mode. That's a desktop dash mode like this. So for everything that has minimum width of 768, which means for everything that is maximum, that is above 768 pixel, which means for our desktop, for larger screen. So this is a media query. Inside here we will write this content like this. Now why we made this mixing? This is just basically simple function which will receive everything that it get and put it inside this content. So we are writing this media query for any devices that has a minimum width of 768, which means it will be, we are writing the devices for any we are writing the CSS code for any devices that is greater than 768, because we are writing this media query for minimum width of 768. Okay, so I hope that clarify why we are creating mixing here, and if it doesn't, then don't worry, I will show you right here. So now since we created our mixing, what we can do is we can just say @include to include this mixing, and I'll just create desktop like this. So now we can call this function like this, or we can call this, no, it's not function, it's a mixing, so we can call this mixing like this. So for each and every element of my desktop I want to give margin 0 and I want to give padding 0 like this. Okay, so you can see here, for this is for my mobile, I'm giving this margin 1 from left and right, but for my desktop I want everything to be 0, and I think this is good. Now after that what we can do is we can go out and see here. Now first of all, the top bar is looking pretty good to me. Now so the top bar is looking good. So what I can do now is, if I see here the banner image and also this UL, our links. So what we can do here is that in our links, you can see here in our this link, where is our link? So in our navigation, of course, so we have this display none. So now what we can do is for our desktop, so we are going to include our mixing and it is desktop, of course, so like this. So I'm going to say for our desktop links, I will just say margin, I'll not give you margin, I will just say display block like this. So if I just refresh this, I get all my links right here. You see, now what it has done is it has called this mixing, and the mixing content this content. So this display block is being placed here, which is our media query. So for every desktop or every screen that is larger than 768, we want this link to be visible, or we want this link to be blocked. So that is why it is visible here. So if I go to my for every screen that is less than 768. So if for every screen that is less than 768, you can see it is the link is gone. So because the display is none, so display is none for small devices, but for desktop display is, of course, the display is block like that. Okay, so display is block like this. So this is how media quality works in SCSS. Now that is good, but now I think the another problem that we have is in our desktop. If I just remove this now, so in our desktop you can see here we have this what we can do in another thing for our desktop application is now. Okay, so let's see the icon of this search bar. I think it is also good. This is looking good, everything is looking good. Rather I would suggest to make this banner. I think the banner has a problem, everything else is looking pretty fine to me. So what we can do with the banner is the banner image width is not working fine, right? So inside the banner image, so inside this banner image, where is the banner image, we have this max height 40. So I'll just say @include and desktop. So for the desktop I want the mean width, so I'll just want the minimum width to be 1200 pixel. So the minimum width of the banner image will be 200 pixel and the minimum height will be 60 viewport height. Now just with that being said, it looks good for this particular device. Okay, now for the info, okay, the information section is not working perfectly fine for the desktop, so let's change that as well. So I include desktop like this. I will actually copy this so that I don't have to type this again. So I'll just copy this. Okay, now inside our info, what I can say is I can just give it a margin left, let's say 360 pixel, and then refresh this. It's going too much left. I would not give any margin left for now to this. Rather what I would give is I will give it a minimum height, right? For the info I would actually give margin top maybe. So margin top, which is already minus 30, so I would rather give minus 40 VH and see how it looks. So I'll just refresh this, go out here. It is pretty good, but now the problem again is left. So I will just give it a margin left of 30 pixel just to see how it react to that. I don't think the problem is here. I think the problem is in my paragraph, so I would rather put it here in the paragraph. I want the width of the paragraph to be 60% of the total width. So now I can just refresh this and see how it appears. So again we have a problem here in my info. So for my info I'll just say display flex and then justify content center and then align item center. So I just refresh this. Okay, so flex direction will of course be column, so flex direction will be column, and then save and refresh this. Okay, this looks good to me. Now I don't think if I need this or not, but okay, so let's say left margin left also I want to give 40. So if I just refresh this, so this looks good. I'll give 50 and then see. Okay, so this looks good now. So the banner is working pretty good in this page. Okay, so now after that I want to install these 3 passion creative and all these things. Button is also pretty fine for my desktop application. Okay, so finally I want to install my main content here, this 3 section. Now for that what I want to do first is what's wrong with this one. What is that? I don't even know what is that. So let's see. Okay, so this is the beautiful clean responsive design. Okay, so I have increased the width, so that is why it is going outside. So if I just see, this is deep.top info inside my main content. So of course, so the main content margin top. Okay, so inside my main content, what is my main content? So okay, so this is my main content. Here what I am going to do is for desktop, here that I can include desktop like this, and I will give it a margin top of 30 pixel. Save this, refresh this looks good. Rather I would give 50 pixel, then refresh this. Okay, 90. Now I think it should look good. Okay, now this is fine, but now as you can see here, it is very short and right in the middle. So I'm going to do that for this, do same for this as well. So the info here, so the top info, so the top info will contain this thing, and I will actually gonna give it a padding. So padding will be 0 from top and bottom, let's say 5 pixel from top and bottom and 3 from left and right. So this will help it. I would rather give 20 from left and right, and refresh this. Okay, so this looks good. Okay, now the paragraph is also fine. I would rather say text align center. Okay, so okay, like this for the desktop I want to see text align center, so I will just say text align to be center like this. Refresh this. Okay, so this looks center, this is fine. Now we have this 3 section. So the flex direction is column. For the desktop one, I just want to say flex direction to be row. So this flex direction. So flex direction I want it to be row like this. Okay, so refresh this page. This looks good, but now with the section, I want to give it some padding as well. So I just Control V. So I want to give some margin, which will be 5 pixel. For desktop, refresh this looks good. Okay, so but of course I don't need any box shadow for the desktop, so what I can say is box shadow none, and refresh this. Okay, this is good. So my heading, so from here my heading will of course contain okay, so for my heading I will give margin right of 150 pixel. So see this, refresh this. Okay, this looks pretty much good. Now I also want to give it a padding, so I would give it a padding, and the padding will be, for my heading the padding will be 5 pixel. Okay, let's try this, let's see how it works. This looks pretty good. Now inside my anchor tag also I want to style this anchor tag. Now here I want the icon to a little bit more bigger, so for the rest I'll just give it a font size of 40 pixel. Let's see how it turns out. So if I just refresh this, okay, a little bit bigger. Now I also want to give it a margin right of 10 pixel. Just see, it was good. Now with the paragraph, I want to do something with the paragraph as well. So here in my paragraph for the desktop, I want to behave it and show me the color first. I don't want to change any color for the paragraph here for the desktop. I would rather change the width and give it 250 pixel. Okay, now I'll just give it a margin left of probably 100 pixel, then refresh it. Okay, so this is good, but this is pretty good. I have no problem with this at all, but okay, fine, this is good. Now what I want it to do is I also want to change the color, of course. Again, I didn't want it to, but I think I have to, so I'll just say color gray. So in desktop it will have different color like this. Okay, I will also decrease the font size, so I will just say font size to be 12 pixel for the desktop for this particular one, like this. So this is good for my 3 section. Rather than 100 I would give it 90. Yeah, I think this will work. Okay, so this is good, and rather than 12 I would rather give it 13 pixel font size, like this. Fine, so this is fine for my 3 section. Now after that we have this latest work. So for our latest work, what I want is that inside my latest work, for the desktop I want to change the background color of it. So I will just say background color, I want it to have a background color of light gray. Okay, refresh. So okay, so spelling is wrong here. Refresh this. Now it's fine. So we have this background color changed for this particular one, and what I can do is, for our card, I think we can change our cards. Okay, so let's go to our cards, and for the card desktop, what we can just say is, I don't want this box. I think the box set is good for the card here, so no problem with the box set. I don't want to change anything with it. Rather I will give flash direction row. So flash direction row, and you can see it will come one after another now, like this, like the way I want it to come. Okay, and also want to get the space between is good. Okay, so flash direction row, which is perfectly fine. Now for the card, I want to change something here for the desktop. So for the desktop view, I want the card to have margin and padding. So I want the margin, I don't want any padding, I think I just want margin, not like this. So margin, I want margin of 10 pixel. Let's see how it goes. Let me just refresh this. Okay, 10 pixel margin is good, I think. If I see here, there's a bit more margin, but for me 10% is good. But of course I have this paragraph which is too long. I would just change it for desktop as well. So I will rather give it a width of 50 pixel for this paragraph. Now the paragraph is too long, 33%. And now let's see. Okay, the paragraph is too long, but I don't want to shorten it now. I'll just give it a little bit more width. Okay, so this is good. You can see here paragraph is, this is very less and this is very more, but okay, no problem at all. I'll just give you some padding here. I just want to decrease the font size. Font size, I want to make it 14 pixel. I don't know if it change anything or not. Okay, good. And I just want to give it a padding of 5 pixel. So like this, and this is good. Like, so the latest product is, the card is completed. After that, our grid is this. Grid is perfectly fine, I think. So I don't want to change anything about the grid. Now let's see what we need to change now. I think we want to change this image and this footer, right? So for the footer gallery, so this is the gallery that I want to change. I don't know why the latest work is coming here. So let's see. So for my gallery, after the gallery I have this footer. So footer info is fine. I think I want to change footer as well. So if you see footer here, it is just like this and these three things right there. So I would make the same for the footer here as well. So if I see my footer, okay, let's change our footer and make it exactly the same as previous one. I'll just say flash direction. Of course I want to change the flash direction first. So flash direction will be row. That is the first thing that we need to do here. Also change the background color, make it white, not, let's say make it completely white, like this. Now the footer is done. If I just refresh this, of course it will change for the desktop like this. Okay, so the flash direction row is not working for some reason. Alright, I don't know why it is not working, flash direction row. because it is never column, right? So okay, fine, let's carry on with the desktop one. So let's change the desktop for our footer info. So the footer info will have justify content to be flex start now, and the align items to be center. So if I just refresh this, it is good. I think the problem is still here. So flex wrap good, flex direction is already a row. So if I see the footer content three thing, right? Footer info and all these things. Okay, all right, let's carry on. So the footer info is good. Now after footer info, I want to change the paragraph. I think paragraph is too long, so I would give it a width to the paragraph of the footer info. So right here I would rather give it a width to make it a little less. So I'll just say width of 300 pixel like this. If I just refresh this, okay, now it is coming under this. Okay, so this is fine. So width is good, but it's too close to the logo, so I will just give it a padding. I'll just give it a padding of 5 pixel just to see how it works. If I just refresh this, okay, I would rather give it a margin as well of 5 pixel. Let's refresh this, see how it works. This is pretty good, no problem. But if I see here, it is too long, and here it is too short, and we don't have our image as well. So I don't have my heading because my heading color is white, but in desktop I want it to be black. Okay, so I'll just say color black. Now refresh this. Now everything will appear as it should. Now 300 pixel is very less for the image, I think, so I'll just increase the width, give it 500 pixel like this. Okay, so yeah, but I think the font size is pretty big for the paragraph, and the paragraph is also pretty big, so I'll just give it a 400 and decrease the font size 13 pixel. Okay, refresh this, go out here, it is good. Now finally, after that we can change our latest work image. So this image, so first first what I want to do is, for this latest work, I don't want to change anything there first. Okay, so flex wrap, everything is good here, but what I want to do for the latest work image is that I want to give it a specific width. So I'll just give it a width, and I want the width to be 500 pixel. So 500 pixel like this. Let's refresh this. Okay, so nothing is happening, of course, but let's change the free update first. So for the free update, I want to go inside my free update and here change it for my desktop. Okay, so at the rate include desktop, and what I want to do here is justify content to flex start, and then align items to center like this. So this is good. If I just refresh this, it's good. I want to change the paragraph, so here for the desktop, and to change the paragraph for the desktop, what I want is, I want to again copy the same thing. I don't want to write it over and over again, and then I want to give it a width. So this time I will give it a width of 400 pixel, right? Refresh this. Okay, so this is good, but latest work is taking too much space. So let's see how I can solve it by going out here and checking from here. This one, so latest work. Okay, yeah, this one. Now this has display flex, but what it doesn't have is flex direction column. Okay, fine. Now if I go to now if I go to my images, I can just decrease the width like this. Okay, so 300, probably 90. Good. So what I want to do is, the first thing is, the latest work will have the width of 390 like this, and then this will have flex direction column for the desktop, not here, for the desktop of course. So okay, so Ctrl check. So inside my latest work, here it will have flex direction column, and justify content again center, and then align items also center like this. So let's refresh this and see. Okay, fine. So everything here looks pretty good. Okay, so if I go here, yeah, fine, it is fine, it is perfectly fine. But now I want this box shadow for this email address, so I want to choose any box shadow. So I want to choose this box shadow, and for the desktop I want to give it a box shadow for the desktop for the input box. So again, include desktop like this, and give it a box shadow. Alright, refresh this, and here we go. So we have everything right here. Okay, so if you see this, everything is perfectly aligned here. Only the problem is this space for this logo, but of course you can change it. I'll show you. So if I just select this logo, and for this image logo I can just give margin left. So I'll just say margin left and increase it, and just like that your problem is solved, that as well. So you can give anything here as well. So you can see we have created an awesome site for the desktop as well. There is one problem, of course, with this image size not working fine. So what I can do is I can just select this. So the problem is inside cart, which has this image, but the cart size is too big, I think, or the image size is too less. So I will just increase the maximum height like this. Okay, I will make it bigger like this, and it is fine. So the max height for the image will be 235 pixel. Now if I see this side, you can see here it looks perfectly fine. So now it is responsive like this, everything is working fine. Here you can see here it is highly responsive, and then if I just increase the size, everything comes down, and as you can see it is just so well responsive like this. So this page is responsive for each and every device. It's just that the text of this particular section is very long, so beautifully and responsive. So I just want to decrease that as well. So you can see here, so made for designers. After that, this is quite long, which is unnecessary for our site. So I would rather just remove this, and yeah, like this. So if I save now it will not show any problem like this. Okay, so you can see here it looks perfectly fine. Okay, so you can see it is highly responsive. Now I go out here with images, it is highly responsive here as well. So like this. So you can see we have created this responsive design for our site, and it is working pretty fine. So you can of course make it even more better with your styling and with your CSS and everything. If you give a little bit less width to this paragraph as well, it will work even more better. So yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this video. So please like and subscribe if you did. Thank you so much.